Okay, get this. Imagine a project that sounds like it's straight out of a science fiction movie. A massive artificial river being built right in the heart of one of the driest places on Earth. We're going to unpack how Saudi Arabia is trying to pull off the impossible.
So, when you think of Saudi Arabia, what comes to mind? Right? Oil, futuristic skyscrapers, just unimaginable wealth. It's a kingdom literally built on a sea of black gold.
But now, all that oil money is being poured into a totally different kind of liquid infrastructure. We're talking about a network of underground pipes stretching 12,000 kilometers. That's double the length of the actual Nile, designed to create a river of fresh water where one has never existed. Which, of course, brings us to the big, obvious question. In a country that doesn't have a single permanent natural river to its name, how on earth are they pulling this off? I mean, where is all this water even coming from? To really get why they're even attempting this, you have to understand this fundamental paradox that's right at the heart of the kingdom. There's this saying that just perfectly sums it up. It's like having a palace of gold, but only 2 sips of water to drink. It really highlights the ultimate truth out there. In the desert, water, not oil, is by far the most precious resource. For decades, Saudi Arabia thought they had this secret weapon in their fight for water, a hidden reserve. But it turned out to be a really temporary and, well, a really costly solution. So what they were doing was tapping into something called fossil water. Now, this isn't your regular groundwater. No, this is ancient stuff, trapped deep underground for thousands, even millions of years. And the key thing to get here is that it's non-renewable. Once it's gone, it is gone forever. It's like a one-time withdrawal from a bank account that will never get another deposit. And man, the problem escalated fast. Back in the 70s, they launched this ambitious plan to grow wheat, right there in the desert. Sounds great, right? But it drank up enormous amounts of this fossil water. By 2003, farming was using a wild 85% of the country's entire water supply. And then, by 2016, the alarm bells were just screaming. NASA satellites confirmed it. Those underground aquifers were just disappearing. Just let that sink in for a second. 85% of all the water being used was just to grow crops in the middle of a desert. It was this dream that was completely unsustainable, and the country was waking up to a real nightmare of its own making. Yeah, it was exactly like using a battery you can never, ever recharge. They were draining their only backup supply with absolutely no way to get it back. They had to make a change, and they had to do it fast. Okay, so with their ancient water reserves practically gone, they had to pivot to a plan that sounds, well, radical. If you can't get water from under the ground anymore, you've got to build a river from scratch, an underground man-made Nile. And when I say the scale is mind-boggling, I am not kidding. We're talking 12,000 kilometers of pipelines. To put that in perspective, that's enough pipe to stretch from Riyadh all the way to New York City, and almost all the way back. And the amount of water, just as incredible. The goal here is to push 9.4 million cubic meters of fresh water through this network every single day. That's enough to fill thousands of Olympic-sized swimming pools daily. But of course, a miracle like this comes with a pretty staggering price tag. Pushing all that water across the desert, sometimes uphill, over mountains, is going to take a huge amount of energy. We're talking nearly a tenth of the country's entire electricity supply. So, wait a minute. If the water isn't coming from rivers and it's not coming from underground anymore, where's it coming from? The answer is right on their coasts, the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf. And the technology that makes it all possible is called desalination. Basically, it boils down to 2 main methods. First, you've got the old-school brute force approach, multi-stage distillation. You're pretty much just boiling massive amounts of seawater and then collecting the fresh water from the steam. But the real future is in the more elegant method, reverse osmosis. This uses insane amounts of pressure to push seawater through these superfine membranes that only let pure water molecules sneak through. Way more energy efficient. And look, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky plan for the future. Desalination is already the backbone of their water supply. Right now, today, 2/3 of all the fresh water in Saudi Arabia comes from the sea. This new river project, it's just taking that success and scaling it up to a level nobody has ever seen before. But here's the thing. Making fresh water from salt water, it's not magic. It's a massive industrial process. And like any huge industrial process, it creates a byproduct, a really big and really problematic one. I mean, think about it. You take all the salt out of the water, but then what do you do with all that leftover salt? The answer? Well, that's the dark side of this incredible man-made river. Get ready for this number. Every single day, this process creates 329,000 tons of waste.
That waste is a super concentrated, toxic salt water called brine. And to help you picture 329,000 tons, that is like dumping the weight of 1,600 blue whales into the ocean every single day. This stuff is creating dead zones along the coast, it's killing coral reefs, and it's just wrecking marine ecosystems.
So here's where we are. The country is solving its freshwater problem, but in doing so, it's creating a massive pollution problem. The new challenge is, how do you solve the solution? What can even be done about this? Well, they're looking at some pretty innovative ideas. Things like deep-sea diffusers, which are basically giant sprinkler systems on the ocean floor to help spread out and dilute the brine. And then there's this really fascinating idea of brine mining, actually treating the waste like a resource. They can extract valuable minerals like magnesium and potassium right out of it, turning a pollutant into a product. And all of this leaves us with a really big question to chew on. This impossible river in Saudi Arabia is, without a doubt, a monumental feat of engineering. It's an incredible testament to what humans can achieve, but it's also a powerful reminder that every big solution creates new problems. So it really makes you wonder, can technology truly conquer scarcity? Or does it just transform the problem into something new we have to solve next?